What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily Fantasy Quickie. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the regular daily Fantasy Quickie. If you missed yesterday's live Q&A, it's up on the Facebook page. Unfortunately, I was not able to hit the record button on that session last night, so we won't be able to upload it on the YouTube page. But just go back to the Facebook page and you can see all the questions that were asked and the discussions that we had yesterday. All right, let's get on with the quickie. How are you, Com?
Doing fine.
Still relaxed because
I'm relaxed because I don't have any playoff this week, so I'm just feeling the pressure from you guys who are deep in the battle.
I'm not relaxed. I'm pressured because I have two very close playoff matches and they're really close, and a lot of the major factor is now dependent on players who should be playing.
And I think Jeremy is the second seed also. It's different kind of pressure also, in my opinion. You're the higher seed. Because,
well, true.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose to a lower seed. It's just like, you feel you're better, which I think you should be better. But when it's head-to-head, like Jeremy, I think, has lots of rest or injured players. So,
yeah,
in the
league where I'm second seed, I have Kat there, who's been out
minus
for
two games. Yeah,
so that's two big games already because some of the stats that Kat gives, like the rebounds, the free throws, it's really close. So there, and then I also had PJ Washington there, so he is out for 2 days, so 2 games already. I also had Rozier there, who was out last game, but thankfully played well today. And I have an IL there. It's John Collins who's in my IL. So
you have a really strong team. You have a really strong team because you're still competing closely, and those players haven't even given you anything.
I still have Chris Paul and DeRozan there, and Derek White is there. So the roster is really not that bad. And so I think I hope Kat plays. If Kat plays, I think I have a good chance.
I guess we start there with Kat. I think he's gonna play tomorrow. And I think Giannis,
not tomorrow, Friday?
Yeah, Friday. He's gonna be back the next game. I think Giannis is also close. He was very close to playing today, so I think he'll be back the next game also. And I wrote that I'm guessing Giannis will be better going forward because of the rest, the long break that
he had.
Yeah. So I think he'll be okay.
Hopefully, you guys, those that own Giannis, still doesn't have the finals yet, or at least the playoffs yet. This week, so at least you can use them. And if you don't have Giannis, hopefully you're in the finals, in the playoffs, and Giannis is in your opponent side. So, so you'd be able to maximize the missed games that Giannis is having. So let's talk about those players. Injuries: Richaun Holmes will be out for 3 more games, and that's a big blow to Richaun Holmes owners.
Like myself, I have a lot of Richaun Holmes, and good thing 2 of them is in the Roto League, so it still hurts. Even in Roto Leagues, guys, it's already crunch time. You have to catch up because you only have 30 days left. So we're not just catering to head-to-head, so I think we should discuss a little bit the Roto players. You have to check that if you have so little games right now, you might not finish your league. You might not maximize your games.
If you've played very little games, you might not be able to finish.
You have to check. Especially the util spot. Because the util spot is, you have 2 or 3 util spots there. So that's 72 times 3. That's around 216 games. So if you only have, let's say, 100 something games there, you might not be able to finish, or you might be able to finish, but you're gonna play terrible players in the end. So be careful with that. But anyway, back to Richaun Holmes. It looks like longer than 3 days for him. It's my take. It looks longer than 3 days.
If you are in the playoffs right now, should you drop Richaun Holmes at this point?
if you're losing, if you're really losing, and you need.
Wait,
you
I
need
think
to
Richaun
win.
Holmes should already be in IL, an IL eligible
Not yet.
player, right? But he's
Not yet.
in
He's not
Yahoo,
yet in
but,
IL.
so if you are, I have Richaun Holmes in the other playoff matchup that I'm playing. I have Richaun Holmes and Kawhi Leonard there at the same time. I opened a roster spot for Friday, for Saturday, just in case Kawhi plays. So that's what I did.
And who's in your IL? Richaun is in your IL.
No, Kawhi is in my IL. We only have one IL in the league.
Yes.
So I just
and Richaun.
I dropped a player just to open the spot for Saturday, in case there's a sudden change that Kawhi would play. At least I can move him up.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'm hoping Richaun gets into IL, so I can move him into IL just in case, because I know he's gonna be out 3 days.
3 games.
Yeah, 3 games, and I can put him there.
I hope the 3 games. I hope the 3 games includes today. So if that the report was before the game today. So if they included today and then tomorrow, that's 2 games already. And then one more this weekend, that's 3 games already.
I think it's safe to say you won't be able to use him this week anymore. If if you're desperate to use his spot, I think I don't know if he's gonna be put on IL. He should be put on IL
after tomorrow, I think.
After tomorrow or tomorrow, we'll see. But he should be there, and then you could use him in your IL slot, if possible. So there, Richaun Holmes out. PJ Washington is still day-to-day. That's actually the day-to-day sometimes becomes the harder part, because you don't know what to do with the players on day-to-day timeline.
That's true. Although PJ Washington's injury doesn't look serious, but like in your case, if you really need a rebounder or stuff, I'm okay with dropping PJ Washington over Richaun Holmes actually, because Richaun Holmes might, as you said, might be in the IL by tomorrow.
Yeah.
PJ, I'm not sure, and he's not that not as high ceiling as Richaun Holmes, higher rank as Richaun Holmes. So if you really need it, maybe you have to move on. You have to consider that. You have to consider
that's the hard part, really.
No, but right now you're 5-4, right? Or 4-5.
Yeah, but it's really close. It's really close. Like, I think it's just 1 rebound away.
Exactly. So you're still fighting.
Yep,
so don't drop him yet. Don't drop him yet. Maybe at the last 2 days, you see if you're like still very, very close, and then the last 2 days, then you go full blast. Pick up a rebounder to just solidify your rebounds and win that treadmill. Yeah, if by that time you're already up by at least 12-15.
So I added Whiteside. I added Whiteside in that league. I think I dropped the wrong player because I dropped Zeller. I think I should have dropped Rubio, but I checked the steals, and the steals is just 1 steal away. He is just 1 steal away from me. So I think that shouldn't be a big deal as much of a big deal.
I wouldn't say you did the wrong thing, because Zeller is okay, but how much can 10 points, 6 rebounds help you anyway, right?
Well, the 6 rebounds might.
But you replaced him with Whiteside, who, if he plays 15 to 20 minutes tomorrow, should get as much rebounds as Zeller, even more, and then you'll get the blocks and the steals also. So that's good. It's correct also that you need steals, and you kept Rubio.
Yeah.
So it's case to case. I think in your case, I think it's okay.
I just feel
because you're looking for blocks and rebounds.
I just feel like Rubio is part of the core players that solidifies the strength that I have, which is the assist, the free throws, and the assist and the steals.
Steals.
So at least there's 3 categories there that I can make
since
sure
we're there already, let's talk about Whiteside for a minute. It's tough to recommend Whiteside, really. I'm doing it with my eyes closed.
Even to add Whiteside.
To add Whiteside, I'm doing it with my eyes closed and crossing my fingers. My Marvin Bagley, by the way, is reported to be back with the team. Not back playing, but already back with the team. The team allowed him to leave to recuperate his injury, but I guess he's already good enough to come back. But he has to do some COVID testing and all those stuff. But so he's in line to come back. So Whiteside is not a player that is long-term add. So after tomorrow, if a lot of moves left, you want to stream the roster spot, you can do so. You add him for tomorrow and then check.
After tomorrow, there's a two-day break, I think, for
Sacramento.
Or 3. Yeah, after tomorrow, there's Saturday and Sunday. They won't have a game on Saturday and Sunday, and then the next game is, I think, on Monday. So, most likely, if you are in the playoffs, you'll probably eventually drop Whiteside, especially if he doesn't give you as much as you need. So there, Hassan Whiteside could be streamed, and let's keep our fingers crossed and pray hard that he'll be
for
used.
A big game tomorrow.
Yep, big game. Just give us 10 rebounds, or all I ask is about 10 rebounds and probably around 2-3 blocks. That's it.
2 blocks. 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. We don't care about the points right now. Just give us those. We're fine. We're happy.
Other players who rested today, unfortunately, big name players. I talked about Cat. Cat actually didn't rest, but he had some personal thing with this the death anniversary of his mom. And Paul George was out. This one is about rest. And we were just talking about it yesterday. We were just talking about it yesterday.
No, I predicted that. I said Paul George will rest.
Yes,
I said Paul George will rest.
Because it was Detroit that you were up against. Kyle Lowry sat out once again, and Kevin Durant.
That one is more okay. Durant and Paul George. Let's talk about one by one. Durant, I think, that's given. He will not play back to back. Kyle Lowry is the one that I'm concerned about because it was a back to back, but he didn't play any of the games in the back to back. So that is going one step further. I mean, totally not playing. So I'm not sure what their plan is with Kyle Lowry. So that is a concern for me. If he doesn't play the next game, I will move on. I mean, if it's your playoff already, I will move on because what are they doing? Are they gonna, throw darts as to when he's gonna play? So that is concern.
Actually,
Paul George, let's go.
The Toronto rotation is kind of a mess at this point. Like, even the center spot, there's Kem Birch there. You still don't know what's the usage there. Lowry, you still don't know if they're really tanking and resting these players and what would happen next to the other players. Although there's a good update on Van Vliet today. Right? That
he was suspended today.
He was serving the suspension today. So most likely he'll be playing the next game.
He cannot not play.
He has to be cleared before serving the suspension. So we assume that he's been medically cleared from the injury. And he's healthy enough to play. So most likely
he should play the next game, because if he doesn't play the next game, then the serving of the suspension doesn't hold, because it means they were just fooling around saying he's healthy, but he's not healthy. So he should play. Now what to do with Fred VanVleet when he comes back? It's okay, but if Lowry is being treated this way, what more Fred VanVleet? I don't know. I mean, what they will do with him, so that's another concern. Plus, everybody knows Toronto has only 2 games next week. So that is something somewhat of a concern. That's why I said if Lowry still doesn't play next week or next game, I'm okay with dropping Kyle Lowry and moving on. Because if it's just 2 games and he plays only 1 game next week, what's the use? Use the roster spot for someone for 4 games. It's still gonna be better than what Kyle Lowry will give. So this is playoff time. This is what you do during the playoffs for our listeners.
So that's
similar to Paul George, by the way, Jeremy. Similar to Paul George. They only have 3 games next week, and 2 of the games are back-to-back games. So if he misses that game, or if Kawhi misses that game, or one game of the two, they will only have two left. So if you're owning a Toronto player and a Clipper player next week, God have mercy on you.
No, just hope that your team is strong enough to withstand it, because there would be some teams that would be probably strong enough to withstand it.
That's tough, man. I mean, if you have Paul George for 2 games and then you have, let's say, Fred VanVleet for 1 game, oh man.
If you have those players at the say in one team, that's going to be a problem. Definitely.
That's going to be a problem. Big problem.
So let's move on to players who returned.
Yeah.
At least these are some good news. Larry Nance and Jarrett Allen returned today. Played pretty well. I mean, for players who were coming from the injury, I think Nance had 4 steals?
4 steals. Nance shot the ball terribly, but that's expected. He's rusty. He lost a lot of poundage and everything. But 4 steals, still good.
Yep.
So he was dropped in 2 of my leagues. I wavered him, used my waiver priority, but I did not get him. Mm-hmm. So that sucks. But if he was dropped in your leagues, you should pick him up. Now let's talk about Cleveland's rotation for a while. They started Kevin Love, who still
started Kevin Love. 13 games left, guys. 13 games left.
I think the way it's looking, Kevin Love looks stronger and stronger. He's been playing better and better. So let's go.
He had 26 minutes today.
Yes. So Allen, Kevin Love, and Dean Wade started for Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton didn't play today. But let's say Colin Sexton plays, that will be the starting 5, I think. And then Larry Nance will come off the bench. They did say Larry Nance will play some small forward also. So don't be worried about that. I think he's still good fantasy-wise. Jarrett Allen, give him a few more games. I think he'll be back to his old self.
All right. So now here's the thing. Dean Wade, is he still a player that you should be streaming, or you just stay away?
I stayed away. I dropped him, but it's more because I don't like to risk it. I mean, Colin Sexton, I don't know what's the issue. I know it's a groin issue. I don't know how severe it is. They keep on saying he's questionable. They didn't make him doubtful, so he possibly can come back soon. But I mean, you have to lock your rosters for most of us a day before, right? So you have to use a move on Dean Wade and then find out that Colin Sexton will play. So I'm kind of staying away for a while from Dean Wade for right now.
Hartenstein is totally out. He played well today. I mean, if you needed the blocks, he gave you 3 and a steal. But he only played 12 minutes. So
pass.
Okay, so totally don't stream anymore Hartenstein because of
for the meantime.
Yeah, for now. I mean, as long as these guys are playing, or there's even if Nancy misses a game or is being rested, it's really hard to depend on these guys anymore.
And when will you know when the rest will come? That's the problem, right?
Yep.
I mean, if you know early on, then it's okay.
Yeah. Unless you are your league settings is you can edit your roster or add players on the same day.
Yes.
Of the game. So the return of Larry Nance and Jarrett Allen. Let's talk about some players who are Sawi players or players we worry about. Ricky Rubio. I was telling you if I made the wrong move of dropping Rubio, but
well, I mean, I'm okay with dropping
Rubio.
I'm okay with dropping Rubio, but in your case, it's different because you were looking for some stats that he can give. He's still good with steals and some assists, but he's been playing terribly the past few games, and he has not gotten more than 20 minutes.
Since D'Angelo Russell came back, he played 1 good game and then not much else after that.
And they have been blown out in a lot of the games. That's the reason why he doesn't get more than 20 minutes. There's just no point playing a veteran in a game that is like that. Of course, the coach will prioritize like Jordan McLaughlin or the other youngsters, right? So that's the problem with Rubio. Now there are lots of hot point guards, in the FA right now. I guess you can stream his roster and get more value at this point. There's lots of hot roster. For one, I know Kendrick Nunn did not play good yesterday. Today, just okay, no assists, 16 points, 4 rebounds. But I still like Nunn more. I don't know why, but I think none has the opportunity to really help.
And he's been given minutes despite having a complete roster. They have Goran there, they have Hero there. The only player they missed out is, of course, Oladipo. But before the Oladipo trade, he wasn't even getting minutes if Goran is available or Hero is available, right? So now he's getting more minutes and more usage. Reggie Jackson is another option that you might want for a point guard. Especially with players like Kawhi or Paul George resting for some games, he will be the main scorer.
You know, last time someone asked who we could recommend that's close to Jamal Murray, and we forgot Reggie Jackson. But he's also one. Of course, he's not Jamal Murray. I'm not saying he's Jamal Murray, but I mean, 16.5 points lately, but around 3-4 rebounds, 3-4 assists. You can close your eyes a little bit and see Jamal Murray.
Today, he played well enough to look like Jamal Murray.
The thing is, he has a bad schedule. I know, but if it's a bad schedule, but if let's say Paul George or he's not going to be rested, it's more of Paul George or Kawhi will be rested, then he'll really be good next week, even in 3 games for me. Because like what happened today.
Right? and it's not gonna cost you much because you're just gonna probably stream him or pick him up, right? Yes. So it's really not. It's just bonus that he gives you. What today he gave us 29 points, 50% field goal shooting, 3 threes, 6 rebounds. Jamal Murray numbers.
Exactly. So there will be value even if you lost. Let's say you lost Jamal Murray. Just scar your FA list long enough, you will find players like these, like Reggie Jackson.
And another player that was recommended by Komish is Karl Anthony, who has slowly been ramping up the minutes. Still not where we want to. He still played 20 minutes, just 20 minutes, but he had 10 points and 5 assists. The shooting might not be as good every time because he was 5 out of 7 today. But still a serviceable point guard if you need some point guard help.
And what's clear right now is Killian Hayes and Theo Maledon are far behind him. As Eric Ong did say, it's Karl Anthony by a mile. And it's looking like that right now.
Maledon has been pretty bad of late. Hasn't really been contributing as much. I even dropped him in a lot of the leagues.
I did. Me too.
Already. Yeah, me too. So, and even the playoffs that I'm battling right now, I dropped Theo Maledon already because I hate the field goal, and I thought that
I don't trust. I'll just rant out. I don't trust OKC and Detroit at this point. OKC resting Lou Dort. I mean, come on. You just scored 42 points and you deserve a rest. I mean, you deserve a rest after getting 42. And then, of course, Paisley had a great game. 22 points today. It's hard to chase those games. So I'm staying away. The only player basically is Moses Brown, that you can really consider. And then for Detroit, Jeremy's playing. I don't know how long he will play.
Jeremy Grant played, but you don't know how much he'll play or when he'll play.
And then
I think the constant there is Saddiq Bey, I guess.
Yes, Saddiq Bey, correct. That's the only player I could really consider, Saddiq Bey, at this point for Detroit. Mason Plumlee maybe, but more of Saddiq Bey.
Yeah, and players like Corey Joseph, who has been playing really well past few games, was 1 out of 7 today. They were in a bad matchup though because it's the Clippers. Clippers second team, but so there, Ricky Rubio, Justin Holiday. If you need this, he hasn't been playing really well.
And he's shooting terribly. My God.
He is there in the top 100 though because he is a good defensive player.
In the top 100 rankings, throw that out of the window right now at this point. Just throw it out of the window.
If just you're in the playoffs, that just you don't use
mind
much of the rankings anymore.
Just tell yourself, Justin Holiday, what did he give me? 30%, 20% shooting, and then not worth it. You need the stats at this point. You need the stats.
Yeah, so but on the flip side, if you are a team that doesn't care about the shooting, doesn't care about the field goal at this point, because you need the defensive stats. Justin Holiday is still a solid pickup.
For defensive stats, maybe for steals, but there are a lot of players you can pick up right now. It's just pickup season. A lot of value that will open up because of the rest and all those stuff. I think you should stream his roster spot. I really think you should stream his roster spot. I've held him for the whole season in one of our leagues with Jeremy, our Dynasty League. I dropped him today. And I think that, you just go forward with players who are actually hot, who are actually doing better.
Yeah, well,
because you said if you don't care about the field goal, then what do you care about? Then you should care about the other counting stats, right?
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't give you points, and his 3-pointers now is like sometimes 0, sometimes 1. Okay, sometimes he'll have 6 and then 0 again. So
yeah, true. I just feel like his steals are good enough for me. I mean, maybe for some teams that might be good enough if if you
streaming
your other categories are strong, but again, he doesn't give you much other than the steals, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Before he was giving you threes, that has gone. He hasn't been giving you threes as much right now. Tim Hardaway Jr., another player who is in our worry player list.
He was hurt by JJ Redick's return entry to the Mavs. He hasn't even played more than 21. He's averaging 21 minutes a game since Redick came. And what Tim Hardaway gives you?
Yeah, and
he's like Alan kay Dick.
This is one player. If I were to choose between Justin Holiday and Tim Hardaway, I'd rather choose Justin Holiday.
I could see that. Yeah, I think
the
so.
reason being is that Tim Hardaway gives me threes and points, and I could get that in a lot of.
Agree.
In the steals, it's really hard to get players who you can really rely on when it comes to the steals category.
And I'm gonna go back to Reggie Bullock. I mean, if you're holding Justin Holiday, you're holding Tim Hardaway, I think you'd rather go Reggie Bullock right now. Even Patty Mills. Those are in our waiver wire. But the threes right now, there's also a lot of streaming 3-pointers, a lot of players. Even Taurean Prince is so hot.
Yep, Taurean Prince is another player who has been playing really well.
I can pick him up over these players who are so cold right now.
Yep. So there, Tim Hardaway and Eric Bledsoe, one of our favorites here.
Don't torture yourself. Holy Week is over. You don't have to sacrifice anymore. Jesus Christ has risen.
So
move on from Eric Bledsoe.
Yep. You can move on. He's been on our drop list for the longest time already. He had some good games after we recommended a drop on him, but still doesn't really give you a consistent. Yep.
Yeah.
The consistency is not there. All right. So those are our worrying players. Just quickly, waiver wire specials. Cambridge, if you need a center or power forward, can rebound, doesn't hurt you as much.
I think he's the hottest name right now. Cambridge.
Yeah. Cambridge. Daniel Tace is also a good player to add. Taj Gibson, if you need the blocks and some rebounding. We mentioned Reggie Jackson, Karl Anthony, and Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock for the threes and steals. Bruce Brown. I still don't trust Bruce Brown because that rotation or the in and out of the big three is affecting Bruce Brown. But yeah,
at this point, Harden is still out and Chiozza is injured, so they don't have a backup point guard. So Brown will have enough minutes, I think. He's also a very good steals and blocks kind of a point guard. Yes, point guard eligibility. So if you're looking for a replacement for maybe Justin Holiday or Tim Hardaway, Bruce Brown is another player you can use.
Even with KD in?
Yes, even with KD in.
All right. Landry Shamet, if you need the threes. Kent Bazemore in Golden State.
Yeah.
Those are some of the waiver wire specials. You can check them out on our Facebook page. We didn't talk about Steph Curry, who is killing my other fantasy playoff team. Steph Curry had another 11 threes today.
In 3 quarters.
Yeah, and thankfully it was over in 3 quarters. Otherwise, I would have been killed. I was so happy this morning when I saw that in that playoff matchup, I caught up in the 3-pointers. And I said that even if Curry has 6 threes, which was average for Curry, I guess, I'll be fine with it. But he had double that, and that's a killer for me.
I don't know what Jeremy did, but if you're facing Steph Curry, which I hope I don't in my own playoffs, I think you should try to maybe change your strategy and move from 3-point. Don't fight the 3-point.
I don't really. I was just happy I got close to 3-pointers because I felt like even with that game from Steph last time, I was even close. So that means I felt good. I might have a good chance as well on the 3-pointers. But really, that's not the stat that I was really looking into. It's more of the defensive stats, the turnovers, the free throws, and I think the rebounding.
And he's number 1 now. He's number 1 in fantasy. Officially.
So there. And hopefully, though, if I survive this playoff round, I still own Steph in 1 league. Hopefully, he doesn't give me those rests. Because the playoffs there starts at week 18. And it's going to be a killer because if he rests, and I also have Paul George in that team and Karl Anthony-Towns in that team, so hopefully none of those players rest. So we'll see about that. All right, guys, that's it for our daily fantasy quickie. Good luck with the rest of the week. We'll still be back tomorrow to talk more fantasy playoffs, and I hope you're enjoying fantasy playoffs, win or lose, because it's exciting, right? It's one of the exciting times in fantasy right now. And again, strategy, guys. Whatever your strategies were in the elimination round, you scrap that and see what happens in the playoffs, because it's a totally different ball game for everyone.
Yes.
All right, that's it for the Fantasy Quickie. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.